The first C is to check. So taking care of yourself, checking on yourself. First is observing. Now we have to take the time to observe in order to start that, right? So congratulations, when you did that check just a second ago with your stress level, you took the time to check on yourself. But sometimes we let a lot of time lapse before we do that check. Keeping track, right? Keeping track of your stress indicators. When you are in a stress injury, you're probably not going to notice the characteristic changes that you have, but hindsight is 2020. Knowing what your indicators are so that you can help address stress in the future. Kind of my story of why I'm so passionate about this. When I was at the bedside, the thick of COVID, unfortunately, I had a pregnancy loss while I was working in the ED during COVID. And then I was pregnant with my oldest daughter towards the end of COVID, still working at the bedside. And I had this complete loss of empathy for my patients, right? And looking back, I truly was in probably the red zone of stress. And I had no idea that that's where I was. I just knew that I didn't care anymore. I didn't care what people came in for. I didn't really think anybody was that sick. And as a nurse, what a terrible feeling to have, right? Like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I care about anybody anymore? But now I know that that was my misconduct. That was my reaction to stress. And now in my life, I can look at when I start to have those characteristics, when I start to have loss of sympathy or empathy towards others. I need to examine, I need to look around and say, what is it that's causing me to have this level of stress? Once you've done that examining, then you can decide, do I need resources? Do I need counseling? Do I need therapy? Things like that. I can start to look at the resources that I have. Doing this for others, you can kind of observe behavioral changes. You may work closely as a group, but you also might work remote, in which case you have to be a lot more proactive about checking on your colleagues. And we're selfless, we're loyal. So check does come more naturally to others than it does for ourselves. So we want to kind of leverage that. When you check on someone, making sure that your intentions are clear, right? I'm concerned about you because I care about you. And always ask them if something is wrong. Don't tell them what you think is wrong. I use the example of my husband saying, wow, you're really stressed out today. And that's not super helpful. It doesn't make me feel great. But asking someone rather than telling them how they feel and deciding, are you the person for them or do they need or feel more comfortable talking to someone else? Again, this is not a replacement for other resources.